Zombieland is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most fun you can have with the dead outside of taking up juggling at a morgue. This 2009 modern American classic is an absolute blast from start to finish.
Director Ruben Fleischer's theatrical debut after he previously worked on shorts and television, Zombieland sees a United States entirely overrun by a zombie infestation. For those left alive, there's low chance of survival, and most of the population is now an aggressive, sprinting undead, and survivors have learned not to get too attached to one another.
Because, death.
For this reason, people have taken to calling themselves pseudonyms based on their home cities to keep things impersonal. We follow college student Columbus, a terrified dweeby and kind of aimless fella, portrayed with excellent apprehensive dorkiness by Jesse Eisenberg, who has survived solely on a rigid system of rules he has created for himself that focus on practical safety and avoiding conflict wherever possible. When Columbus is thrust into the chaos after his neighbour turns on him, he hits the road in an attempt to head from his dorm room in Austin, Texas, back to his hometown in Columbus, Ohio, to see if his parents are still alive. With a lot of distance to cover and a lot of zombies between point A and point B, Columbus hitches a ride with all-American cowboy man Tallahassee, also known as everyone's favourite character. Tallahassee is a wild, manly man who hates zombies and takes great pleasure in actively smashing their heads in. He initially finds Columbus and his nerdish personality and insistence on being a stickler for the rules annoying and off-putting, but the two slowly and reluctantly bond anyway over their travels before eventually bumping into Wichita and Little Rock in a grocery store, a pair of sisters who initially con the pair out of their weapons, but after a second meeting become active players in the surviving party of four, and the rest of the movie follows their adventures as a group growing closer to one another while trying to survive living on the road in the United States of Zombieland.
The first thing you need to know about this movie is that it is tonally perfect. These characters are some of the most likeable company to have on a road trip through the land of the undead. I absolutely adore this lot. They're funny, the chemistry between them is spot on, everybody bounces off each other with completely perfectly complementary personalities. I just adore their dynamic. It feels like everybody has a role to play within the story and everybody gets the perfect amount of screen time and development. Absolutely no one is wasted.
The back and forth between Tallahassee and Columbus is always a particular highlight. Contrasting Jesse Eisenberg's fast-talking geeky smartmouth with Woody Harrelson's macho no-nonsense approach to life and having those two characters learn from each other's extremes is just brilliant. And the film complements these chaotic characters and their crazy journey with so much style and energy. There's a really great recurring motif within the movie where when one of Columbus' rules comes into play, huge 3D animated text naming the rule is rendered into the environment in creative ways and often splattered with the effects of the carnage, as if it were really there. It's the kind of cool aesthetic addition that gives the movie its own signature flair, and makes already memorable sequences even more unforgettable, without ever being intrusive. The frenetic pace of the movie creates a bouncy energy that seems to make the runtime fly by. Fast, frequent cutaways as Columbus gives an internal monologue flesh out the world in fun, eventful ways that never outstay their welcome, but allow scenes a quick gag or breather between lulls that keep you engaged throughout, such as with the brilliant zombie kill of the week tangent.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
Close, but no cigar. Zombie kill of the week goes to Sister Cynthia Knickerbocker.
It's a great movie for all the same reasons that the video game Dead Rising is a great game. There's an inherent joy to a zombie apocalypse if you're willing to put the innate horror to the side every now and then and embrace it with a tongue-in-cheek silliness. Like, obviously, yes, in reality, this would be a horrifying, awful thing, but the inherent fantasy of travelling an open world with no rules, just you and your mates doing whatever the hell you want, wherever the hell you want, and just getting to go creatively ape shit once in a while, does sound like a blast, and here is captured to perfection.
My favourite parts in the story aren't even when the zombies are a threat, although they definitely are that sometimes and the film manages to keep the narrative stakes high throughout. The best parts, for me, are just when the main crew is having fun.
Seeing things like Tallahassee intentionally open a door to bop a zombie on the head as he drives past with a delighted giggle to himself, you can't help but find the giddiness contagious. And scenes like the entire crew just letting off steam while smashing up a store to classical music are just joyous.
It's the kind of film that is determined to show you a good time and succeeds at every attempt. a celebrity cameo that occurs later in the film, is literally the best example of a celebrity playing themselves I have ever seen. All the jokes land, all the characters are portrayed flawlessly, and the whole thing's just a bouncy, upbeat good time. It is my favourite video game movie, and it's not even based on a video game. It just feels like one in that it embraces the silly chaos of all things.
And of course, most importantly,
it's very wholesome.
The big takeaway thematically from this movie is the importance of human connection and family. The group in isolation all start off distrusting of each other, and strangers in general. Each character having some form of mental hang-up with making any kind of relationship with another person for fear of the pain that could come from it should things end badly. And considering the circumstances of the world they live in, that's very likely a possibility. Columbus's rule of don't be a hero encapsulates this idea that rugged individualism is the one way to survive the terrors this world can throw at you, and Wichita and Little Rock have their own rule of trust no one, which further cements this mindset.
The characters enter this world with their walls up, and it's only by aiding each other, by bouncing back some end of the world banter, and by bonding in spite of themselves that they're able to find in one another the one thing that they need that this cruel new world has robbed from them. A family.
And this point all comes to a head in a spectacular, action-packed, edge-of-your-seat heroic finale, the kind of which popcorn nights in with friends were literally made for.
If you haven't seen it, absolutely check it out. It is a joy from start to finish, guaranteed to put a smile on your face. Honestly, perfect movie. It's absolutely flawless at what it does. I love it, and I'm sure you will too. A modern zombie classic in every sense of the word. Anyway, that's another video done. I can't believe how far along in this thing we are, but there's still a few more movies to cover, so don't forget to subscribe to my Only Dance with the red button below, and I will see you again tomorrow. And also like and comment, that'd be nice too. Thank you, I'll see you tomorrow.